Hello there, dear yogis. Lovely to see you. Lovely to have you along on another beautiful day in May. And yeah, May 2021. Here's the second week of Blackbird program. I hope you enjoyed last week and the gentleness and the strength of last week. And so here we go for this week. And there's nothing that you need in particular except for, the chair to use or a prop to use to head towards. So it could be a sofa, a chair, a bed, a pile of blocks if you or books even, So that's all we need for today. And I thought we could begin the session today lying down. So as soon as you are ready to do so, if you begin the process of mindfulness with your lying down. So with your lying down carefully, as if you're peeling down to the earth, peeling down to the ground, to lie on your back with your knees bent. And I wanted to, if you could sense the ground beneath you in that way that you know, that grounding sense. And feeling your feet on the earth, on the ground. Feeling your spine on the ground. Of course, not all of the spine touches the earth. And the back of the head just spreading onto the floor. As you absorb the air into your being, imagine that you are an air sponge and the air just comes into you from every direction, from the south, from the north, from the east, from the west, from your center, from the earth, from the sky. It moves in and out in all directions. So just absorbing that as if it arrives to the very core, the very center of your being, and then moves out, flows out, so that your air mingles with the air all around you. And the prana, the life force that comes in from the air, acknowledge that as it comes inside and out. And maybe, just maybe, you could get a sense of the connection of you in space, you in relation to space. And then maybe as if the peripheries of your body, your being, just kind of dissolve into that connection of space. that oneness, a sense of that oneness. And now as you rest on the ground, knowing that you can move your body in any way you need to when the time arises, to shift out any tensions. I'd just like you to listen in as we use our listening senses to this poem, The Blackbird. The blackbird's song rings loud and clear among our budding orchard trees. When south winds breathe upon the ear and wake the earliest flowers and bees. The woodman in the April morn from forest thicket hears his lay. The farmer from the meadow thorn, when all its boughs are white with May. Through springtime's buds, through summer's blooms, he sings from morn till evening's close. But when the autumn's plenty comes, lazy and fat the blackbird grows. And then for months he sings no more, but hovers near the homes of men, till winter's want and frosts are o'er, and there is news of spring again. In a moment or two, if you'd like to bring knees up over the belly and sensing your spine as this takes place, as the knees float, and holding the knees with the hands and acknowledging the shoulder blades, and just drawing the knees side to side with a feeling, acknowledging the back of the waistline, the base of the ribs, and that connection with the floor. And noticing just behind the pubic bone, in this kind of lower echelon of the torso, and just acknowledging that space there as you breathe. And the sacrum, noticing the sacrum as you rock. And the space between the front of the pelvis and the back of the pelvis. So between the sacrum and the pubic bone, or just the front wall of the body and the back wall of the body, in this lower, as I say, the lower sort of echelon within the pelvis. So just noticing air moving in and out as you rock. And observing the belly now. The belly button as it just sinks towards the front of the spine as you exhale. And the knees can come back to the center. And the feet now can go to the floor. And you can observe this area deep within the belly. You know, our storage center of chi. Chi meaning energy. You know, again, it's like life force, really. And this is our storage center. So just with your, with your sensitivity, your awareness, how do you feel in this part of your body? How does it feel within your belly? Deep within your belly, within your and womb space as a female. And again, this area around the height of the belly. Just letting the air circulate here. Is it present here? Or does it feel a little bereft of the breath in this area of your body? Or do you have a clear sense of the energy of the breath moving within you without making it happen or forcing it into that area? This is all about observations. And you're all very adept practice now. So we come to look a little deeper. And sometimes looking deeper means accessing the simplicity. So we kind of lay off the thought processes. And sometimes we're just looking deep within to really feel, really sense what's going on deep within your being, so that we can top up your batteries with your practice. So we can top up the adrenals that sit on top of the kidneys, that get a little bit drained, exhausted, over-egged. And then I'd like you to bring your attention to behind the breastbone and just sensing space around the breastbone, around your loving heart center. And just feeling the breath within. Within and around the lungs, within and around the chest, within and around the shoulder blades. Yet, as we focus on one specific area, the breath continues its magic by flowing to where it's needed. So the awareness comes into, just as I was talking about behind the breastbone and the chest area, but then, it just trickles on and flows on to where it's needed also. So there's this lovely communication of breath starting to flow through your being in the most vivacious of ways when we start to allow the breath to flow. And then all of a sudden, the body might start to catch up a little. And any clamping of any tightness, any holding just begins to dissolve. Not only from your body memory, because of the practice that you've been doing, over whatever time, whatever years, whatever months, weeks. The memory is there. And so the process is well and truly established. So lines, life, flowing breath moving through the spine, through into the limbs, and into the head, into the brain space, in between the brain, into the skull, into the cavity of the skull, into the face, the sinuses, into the nose, into the mouth and jaws, into the teeth, into the gums, into the spine. And with that in mind, your toes can lift, spread, the arches of your feet can lift and spread, and the knees can come back over your belly with your exhalation. And then the hands come on front of the thighs, and the one thigh moves forward and the other thigh moves away simultaneously. Now, this could feel quite a strong feeling in the muscles, but see if you can be really intuitive and sensitive as to what you need, what feels right for you, as you kind of make this sort of scissor movement of encouraging one thigh towards you, one thigh away. As you breathe that lovely tender breath inside and the gentle exhalation, and feeling the sense of, acknowledging the spine within as you make this movement. Softening around the throat and the jaws, and practicing for a time that feels right for you. knowing that the ground is there as your supporter whenever you need to find it. And my guess is that, well, not such a guess, but I know with me personally, I start to feel that within the insides of the thighs and, throughout that area, and it starts to feel quite strong. So enjoy the ground when the feet come back to find it. And then, with a few moments to accept the breath, to accept the inhalation and the out breath. When you feel ready, the left knee can come back over your belly. And the circles of the thigh bone begin, just drawing those circles around. The stirrings of the warming golden oil that the femur head, the top of the thigh bone, descends into gratefully. And this slow practice of rolling the femur head into the golden oil, which then starts to rise up into the thigh bone. It reaches up. It rises deep inside and around the bone, and just giving this nourishment and into the knee, into the lower leg, into the foot. And then circle in the opposite direction as the stirrings continue with the breath fluidly attracting in and out. And then as the circles come to cease, just allow the heel to rise up into the sky and to hold behind the leg if possible, if it's comfortable to do so. And just to feel the lengthening of the leg and the heel rising to the sky and the toes spreading. And just drawing the leg towards you a little, and then and it might feel that you need to soften the knee straight away, or it might feel quite enjoyable to just feel the length through the, especially if you do a lot of walking, the muscles in the backs of the legs might be, could do with some easing, some soothing and lengthening. And keeping the toes wide and the heel lifted, then the knee can start to bend and the heel can start to slowly drop. And the hands can stay where they are if you wish. And then as you breathe out, that thigh just draws away. So it goes forward. And that's lovely. And then back towards you as you breathe out. And feel the presence of the right foot on the floor as you draw this thigh towards you a few times, maybe 4 times, towards and away. with that gentle breathing. And then the foot, that knee can stay in the air and the other leg can rise to greet the one on the floor. It's the one in the air, sorry. And just letting the breath flow as the weight of the thigh bones just sink down. Just feeling the difference between. And then we can allow the left foot to go to the floor. And the right knee stays in the air and the circles begin. With the breath continuing to flow. Imagine that golden oil as you circle, as you breathe. The oil rising up through the powerful thigh bone, that incredibly strong bone, which is so active with all the production of the cells inside. Just doing a few circles one direction, a few circles the other. Coming back to stillness with the knee in the air, taking the hands behind the thighs and feeling the left foot on the floor. As you exhale, extend this leg to the sky, the right leg to the sky with this emphasis, hip to heel, the heel lifting, the toes spreading, the top of the feet relaxing, easing in the groin space and inside the thighs, and exploring the feeling of the leg just drawing over the chest a little, but knowing that you can bend the knee as soon as you needed to. If it felt at all tight or too much, that drawing with your breath, and then the heel starts to sink down slowly towards the thigh, and your leg will be quite close towards the chest possibly, and then you can send it away on an exhalation and bring it in. You can keep the heel down now, and just sort of send that thigh over the hip and then draw it back towards you, and just a few times exploring the draw, exploring that that closeness of the thigh. So this is, a supine leg stretch really. And I know so many of you will have, possibly done a lot of walking, and then there's also the reverse, the lots of sitting with what's gone on over the last year or so. So this is still really helping to reverse some of that process when we were stuck indoors. Then the other foot can lift up, and so both knees are over the belly. And breathing in, allow both heels to lift and both arms to lift. And this is the gravity pose. The gravity pose. So we're just sinking the weight of the legs, the weight of the arms, down through the shoulders, down in through the hips into the earth, and then the arms can then reach towards the legs when you feel ready. And you can just draw those knees back slowly as the heels drop down. The knees come closer, and we return to little boat and start to rock again. Coming back to the center with the legs and allowing the feet to come to the ground. And letting the arms move out to the height of the shoulders, and just settling the shoulder blades for a few moments, and then inhale. And then exhale and float the right arm into the sky, and it bends, the elbow bends. It's a bit like a wave over to the other hand on the floor. So that's right, and it's a bit like seaweed moving in the air. So you're opening, feel free to have a look, you're just sort of opening and traveling, and your head is going to rock the neck, moving from the inside of the shoulder blades. It's going to roll and open, roll and open, and you can change the direction of the head. Like the head might turn to the right as your arm is going over to the hand towards the floor. You can just explore the turning of the head so that we really include this rolling, this lifting of the shoulder blade, this opening, of the shoulder blade. Yes, it lifts, but a sense of opening and bringing space, bringing light into the areas that may have been in the shadows, bringing space into the muscles. So it's very soft and fluid, this process. Lovely, bending the elbow, soft elbow, flowing across. And then that arm can come to rest, and the other arm can float up when you feel ready. And it can float and lift and travel. Imagine the seaweed that floating through air, and the head can, go a few times and look towards the hand, and then it can change and look towards the shoulder that's lifting when you feel ready. Let your breath flow, really, really flow. Feel the contact of the feet on the ground. Notice the yawns that might start to rise out of your being. And that arm can sink down to the floor, and the head can return to the center. The knees can float up over the belly. The left hand grip the left thigh and spiral slowly into the lying spiral, the head turning to look to the right arm. And enjoy the opening up through your center as you rest to where your body feels drawn. So using your props to assist in between the knees if needed, and breathe your way. Breathe your way. Feeling your body filling up with the breath. Letting your face become quieter. Your throat space quietening. Is your throat space spacious? Is there anything you can do? It could be that you turn the head less to bring lots of room into the throat and the back of the throat as the tongue relaxes. Then you can gather the belly and guide yourself back to the center and over to the other side. Feeling as if you're turning off any tension within the face within the skin of the skull, within the throat, within the chest, the arms, the belly, within the groin space. Very familiar spiral, but that just has so many benefits. That it's such an important aspect of the practice, to keep the spine in the most beautiful condition. Open the jaw slightly and soften the tongue, and then bring the arm behind all the way over until you're lying on your side. Just enjoying the rest on your side. Really relaxing the soles of your feet, the palms of your hands. And we're going to prepare by very slowly moving up to standing over the next half a minute. So you might want water at this point. How do you need to come to standing? Is it a squat like Elizabeth just practiced and then rising up? Or, do you need support coming up? What is it that you need? And yeah, just have a little while of sort of free practice to open up and shake out and discover what it is you need. To really become present. In the standing. Yeah, soften your knees, bend your knees, release your tailbone, grow tall. And then just lift one heel and then the other, and lift the opposite arm, the opposite hand, as you lift the one knee, the one heel, and then the other. So it's like a stepping, and it's a bit. Is marionette the word? It's a bit like a marionette. As you're sort of drawing up through the string, and you're drawing gravity up to support you. And it's quite a distance from your feet to the head after we've been doing those very relaxing, slow poses. And I know, for some of you, I can understand if it feels a bit irritating sometimes doing it so slowly. But there is method behind my madness. So bear with me and tell me at the end of the session, or send me a message if because quite a few of you lately have been sending me messages of how good you feel after the session. And I think I know it's, as I say, very slow at the beginning, but we're really having to work at shifting over the last year or so the stuff, the tension, the trauma that we've experienced. So bear with me as we unfurl. So stepping forward with your right foot. Allow the legs to stay long and lengthened with the tailbone down towards the earth, the crown of the head to the sky, and the arms floating up to the side of the body. And with the arms floating, with a softness in the elbow, heels down, toes wide, gently spiral to the right, with this very soft sense in the center of the chest, and a lazy look over the right shoulder. And play with the arms. Let them rise, let them sink, let them fall slowly through the air until they touch the side of your body. And lift through the spine as they come back up. Try that again, dropping the arms down. And so waistline up, the spine is growing upwards as the arms lift up. So we're growing through our center rather than just an arm movement. And can you feel under the collarbones the air expanding underneath? Breathing, making a real movement. This, you're really moving, opening. Now we have to relax the feet. Relax the top of your feet, the toes, and then bring the arms down. Let the shoulders become free and then spiral back to the center. Taking that gentle, soft step back, and then just lift one heel, then the other again. And then the opposite arm floats up again. And we just make everything soft and light with this sort of opening, extension and expansion from the inside out. Release the arms. Settle through both feet to start with. Soften the jaws and the face. And step forward with the left foot. Now the balance of the feet are equal. The weight drops through the feet equally. But get a sense of both heels descending to the ground. Inhale, allow the arms to flow and float. Waistline up, the spine is growing as the arms lift. Inhale, and then gently spiraling over to the right. And feel that expansion through the chest. And the lovely long legs with the openness through the knees, the heels descending down, the little toes out to the side, and then freedom coming within the body. So you really start to move and open and flow. And that beautiful tree is joining in at the same time behind. It's as if it's taking part as well. Trees are definitely our teachers in yoga. Yeah, just as the breeze comes in quite strongly through the leaves of the tree, the breeze is coming through you and clearing through the intercostal muscles. And there's a lazy look over the right shoulder, even if it's just for a moment. It doesn't have to be too long. So that we keep that lovely space in the throat. And see if you can relax your legs. See if you can let the weight of the legs descend to the earth, really letting go. And breathe, breathe, breathe. This light air, the tailbone drawing downwards, and then releasing the arms down. And slowly you could float them back up, and with this expansion within the heart space and under the collarbones, and with your attention with your feet revolving back to the center and releasing your arms down, letting your arms sink and sink and sink, and that gentle step back with the left foot, and then immediately picking up one heel and the other to keep this kind of fluid energy rolling through your body after the slow stillness of the beginning. Then releasing the arms, and then we're going to turn to your bench or your table or sofa or chair, bed, and stand tall. And maybe you could just shake out a little before we travel. Yeah, shake those feet out. Oh, you can make a sound. You can shake out the hands. This focus, this is a meditation in itself. And it's quite a long meditation, this practice, your yoga class. So do shake out to release tension. Allow the shoulders to start rolling forward and back, and the elbows come forward. So the elbows, you can have a little look at me just to kind of get a sense of it's almost reminds me a bit like a steam train, of the elbows coming forward and opening up, and then the feet dropping, the little toes out to the side, and the knees start to bend, and it starts to send you forward very slowly into the forward bend by keeping length and space developing through the front of the body as well as the back of the body. And then the knees start to yield. And as the knees yield and bend, the little toes grow more out to the side. Your footprints, really drawing down to the earth. And a softening through the belly and through the chest and through and turn your head from side to side. Yeah, and play a little. Play. What is it that you need? And to notice, to see if you can notice any space that is growing in between the vertebrae. Now, after a while, you might wish to take your hands down to the ground, but you might not. You might find this is just right for you. Totally right for you at this time. If you do go to the ground, then the hands can hold the top of the feet to encourage this developing connection to gravity. And the arches of your feet can lift. And you can turn your head very slightly. And if you feel like you're coming up against a barrier of, oh, I'm desperate to come up, what is it that you can let go of? What is it that you can release? And let the air continue to circulate, continue to draw inside as you breathe. Really sensing. Relaxing your face. And then gradually drawing up. Belly can draw in a little. Can grow through the spine. Tailbone dropping. Rising, rising, rising. Crown of the head to the sky. Now you're in your mountain. Be the mountain. Let the mountain teach you. Imagine Table Mountain or Kilimanjaro or Everest, Croagh Patrick in Ireland, whatever it is. Imagine you are the mountain and let the weight of your body be given to the ground. Then shake it out and let any tension just roll out and out and out and out, freeing up and really relaxing your feet. And then as your feet make this connection once more to the earth, I'd like you to soften your knees. Just a little, soften your knees. And then we allow the arms to flow up to the sky. And we look up a little to the sky with the chin down. And we're rolling with the waistline to tailbone is dropping. And then the knees bend more and the arms come forward. And then we spring up through the body as the arms lift and open, as if there's this big sort of gratitude to the sky. And you could imagine, you could have a wall behind you for this, if it helps you. And often it does. It's like a confidence to have a wall that maybe even the back of the hands might touch. Now dropping the chin. That's it. Back of the head spreads. As you come up, the back of the head spreads. Lovely. Relax your tongue. Little toes out to the side. Stand beautiful. Growing through the waistline. And each time we move, lower spine is sinking down, being drawn down to gravity. And your shoulders, your heart is opening. Your solar plexus is lifting and expanding out and letting go of what it doesn't need to carry. And the lower energy centers are part of the gravitational pull downwards. Feel your throat space, that blue of the throat space expanding. And the third eye that wisdom, that intelligence of vision and intuition. Feel that place being touched as the gravity is drawing up and up and up through to the crown of the head. So every energy center is touched with the breath. And tailbone down, heels down. It's all about the heels and the feet. Very much about the heels and the feet. Relax the ankles. And whenever you need to rest, rest. And we return to the mountain. Imagine your mountain. Maybe it's a different one now. And you know how wide the mountain is at the bottom. And how it comes to, well, it could, it depends, of course, which one you've chosen. But, you know, with the Table Mountain, it's much wider, isn't it, at the top? But if you imagine one with more of a point, you know, like Everest, and reaching to the sky, the crown of your head, reaching to the sky. Relax the jaws. Open the mouth as if you're just stretching out with the mouth and tongue. Shake out again. Let everything go. Yeah, it's a lot of concentration again, so we need to shift all the time. We need to really let go. And we're just going to step forward now with the left foot once more. Yeah, that would be wonderful. Stepping forward with the left foot. And just an easy step, nothing too strong, nothing too big. And then just taking the arms into circles around you. Oh, in fact, I need to do something before we do this, actually. I'm going to get you to step forward with the front foot so that both feet are level with each other. And I'm just going to get you to forward bend again to the chair. After every back bend, although we did the mountain, which is a counter pose, after a back bend, which you just practiced, the forward bend is the most wonderful thing to keep the spine really happy after a back bend. So yeah, and if you intuitively just did that, brilliant, because it's just so important. Obviously, I was giving Elizabeth instruction, and you know, it's so important that we open up through the spine. Breath. Relax the tops of the feet. Lovely. And the arms could reach forward after you've held the feet. The arms could reach forward. And they could also reach back. And they could rise up a little and then down again and reach forward. It's funny because I find this impossible, bringing my arms back like this. I don't know how Elizabeth is doing this. You see, all our bodies are so different. So if you're like me and your shoulders aren't very happy going back, don't bring in tension by forcing or pushing. But just see, you know, Elizabeth just kind of, we haven't done this for a long time, but her arms are just happy to go back and forth in this way, and the shoulders are opening in a Undoing. Relax the belly. And then gather the belly, heels down, tailbone down, coming up vertebra by vertebra. Rolling, 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 rolling. Until we're back into the mountain. And then stepping forward with the left foot. And just taking the arms in circles around to the side of the body and just sort of opening up. And then maybe putting the arms behind your back. Either you can hold on to the elbows and the arms. That's quite nice actually I mean, we could put the hands into a prayer position, but I suggest that's quite strong with the fingers pointing upwards. So the hands go, that's it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's quite strong. And it's very, very strong. And does your body feel ready for that yet?
Yeah.
No, I suggest that it probably doesn't. And yeah, this is much more comfortable and the body might be happier. So we're just playing with the triangle forward bend here. Now I was taught a number of ways with this. Often you can see, in some yoga classes, it's as far as you can possibly get is brilliant. But actually, if you were to just focus on your spine, dropping through the feet and not worrying about how far you go, just experiencing the lengthening and really tuning into the feet. Because it is strong. It is strong. So that's it. The chin drawing down. Now you can just breathe and breathe and breathe. And then gently rise up for me. Rising up. And then I'd just like you to experience bending both knees. And this might feel a little strange, but I'd like you to just practice the same thing going forward. Breath. Heels down. Chin down. And gathering your belly and rising up. And then stepping back. Release your arms. Shake out. Walk around. I know that was a very brief introduction into it. I think that is an incredibly powerful, strong pose. And did you feel that it was strong? It's interesting.
Having the arms back here, you're aware of it in different ways.
Yes.
Not least if I fall over and my arms will work out how to get apart.
Yes. And did you find the when you bend the knees, it felt more pleasant?
It felt like there's a lot more movement.
That's what I
was
feel.
Just going with what the straight legs, just going with what backs wanted to do.
Yeah.
But having the arms here, it helps keep all of this torso bit just as like one big heavy spine, rather than bits reaching or shoulders moving separate.
Yeah, it is quite grounding.
Like
Yes, thank you for that. So I feel that the bending of the knees practice of the triangle gives you much more access into the spine than the straight legs one, which you often see in sort of our younger yoga classes, and then going down as far as you can. And it is quite nice sometimes going all the way down and your face nearly touching your legs or whatever. But just have a play, because we don't want to pull or cause any tension, because it is very strong. So let's go it again with the other leg this time. So we come back to the mountain, stepping forward, just an easy step with the right foot forward. And it's all about the feet. Well, not all about the feet, but so important that the feet are grounded and the toes are wide and the breath is fluid. And rolling the arms into that opening, the shoulders into that opening. So the shoulder blades really widen and roll. And then taking the hands behind and just holding on to the elbows. Imagine that your feet are the most powerful magnets that are drawing into the ground, and that your spine, low waistline, tailbone down, waistline, crown of the head up. And then breathe your way forward. Tailbone is going back, back, back to the wall behind you. And that's leading the lower spine to the wall behind you. Growing through the waistline to the crown of the head once more. And Elizabeth, I am going to let you keep going if you want to, but you don't have to. That's about it. Lovely. That's great. Now you can rise up a little again if it feels not quite the right height, whatever you feel. Drop your weight into the back foot. Drop more weight into the back heel, and then that might steady a bit more. So focus on the back foot and the front heel to keep you steady, and then gently rising, rising, rising as you breathe. And then when you're up, you can bend both knees. That might feel a little strange after having them so straight. And heels down if possible. Arches of the feet can lift. And then inhale and travel. Traveling forward, waistline to tail is being drawn back like a big magnet, big U magnet behind you that's drawing the tail back. And then space and length through the belly, and the chin dropping down, the mouth and jaw soft. And then gently rising, tailbone drawing down, lifting, 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 lifting. And stepping back with the right foot and undoing the arms and shoulders, and then walking around and really shaking out. And then from here, I'd like you to come into a sitting position on your blanket with your cushions for your knees. The choice is yours as to how you wish to sit. Now, if you feel after all that you've done that you desperately need to lie down, then know that you can do that for a couple of minutes, and then, or however long you need, and then come back into some of this breathing practice. So I'd just like you to feel the support that sitting gives you. And the ground beneath you, and closing your eyes and feeling the breath within. Feeling the breath as it travels out. Anything you can soften, then allow that to be. Then I'd like you to breathe in from the earth, into the tailbone, up towards your heart space. Breathe out, down through the spine, out through the tail, into the ground. Breathe in, up through, from the ground towards the heart space, and it may not touch the heart space straight away. Breathe out and down. Breathe in and up. Your heart space becoming suddenly aware and interested for this journey of the breath that rises to speak to the heart space, to greet the heart space. The breath begins to be taken into the heart space, and it circulates inside and travels around. And flows. It moves and flows and turns. The healing breath within the heart makes its touch. And the breath now draws from the sky, inhaling from the sky, down through the crown, through towards the heart space. It may not reach straight away. Exhaling back up to the sky. Inhaling from the sky to the heart. Exhaling from the heart to the sky. The heart opening to eventually receive the breath from above. The breath drawing, circulating around the heart chakra, your loving heart. And simultaneously, the breath is drawn in from the earth and the sky into the center of your being, into your heart space. Beautifully fluid air, energy draws into this center and circulates clearly, fluidly. Your heart begins to be filled, soon to be overflowing with this beauty, this love, this energy, which then starts to emanate out from the front of the heart space into the space ahead. It starts to expand until it draws a beautiful ring all around you, a little away from the physical body. And this ring of air, this ring of loving support, starts to grow and expand so easily that it builds up higher, lower, all around, to the back of the heart space, to the back of the chest, to the back of the waistline, to the front of the waistline. And it grows and grows and grows on until this most beautiful, it's almost egg shape all around you. All around, traveling to the top of the head and underneath you. This beautiful, protective, supportive protection barrier, which allows the good in and just keeps at bay what is not needed, what is not necessary in your beautiful, sensitive energy, in your energy field. Eventually you feel just slowing down and stopping from earth and sky. It's there for you to tune into whenever you need it, whenever you wish to access the loving support. And as soon as you feel that you wish to, you can stay sitting for longer. But you might like to cover yourself, put socks on, and return to a lying position. Now you can choose whether you wish your legs to be bent or straight. When they're straight, this is Shavasana, the corpse pose. And it can be done with knees bent, of course. When we lie flat on the floor, it allows the body and the spine to realign, to unfurl in the tight corners, And it lets the muscles that support the body release. And if you feel at all stiff at the back of the neck, you might like to put a low support or a shallow cushion. Notice your eyes as you rest. If they ever flicker or tremble, it's quite useful having an eye pillow over the eyes. But not too heavy. And when the weight of your body is given away to the pull of gravity beneath you, and your eyes and face become quiet, then your focus can return to the gentle and profound ebb and flow of the breath. The mind can relax in unison with the body as you become the gentle witness of the breath that travels within and out. It is far-reaching, replenishing, all-encompassing. And the exhalation can help you dissolve any fuss of the body or the flutter of the mind. Shavasana is not so much about falling asleep, although of course occasionally that might happen, but it's a true focus, a quiet focus, where we might find the silence. We are stilled, a state of pause. We are breathing, but our mind is calm. At last, the body can be. And we momentarily cease to dominate our physical selves with our habits and our intellect. Now, of course, you can stay as long as you like in Shavasana. 5 or 10 minutes is often good, helpful, and of course it can be longer. But when you decide the time is right to move out of Shavasana, then if your legs aren't bent already, let them bend. Bring your knees over your belly. Hug your knees over your belly and rest onto your side. And a useful practice at the end of Shavasana is the child. So the forehead and the third eye can rest on the ground. And this helps, this is another grounding practice that helps to really ground you in to earth before you carry on with your day. So, our practice comes to the end, and thank you for being with me through this session. I hope you have a really good week, a lovely week. And if there's anything you'd really like to practice, I've kept some time towards the end of Blackbird to incorporate some of the things you'd like to practice. So if you'd like to send me a message of anything that you'd like me to include, then I will do my best to do so later on in Blackbird. So I send you lots of love, and I look forward to seeing you next time. And I hope you enjoy the 2 videos as well that come with this. Okay. All right then. Bye-bye. Lots of love.